Hey Pitmasters, what's up? Today I got an extraordinary roast setup for you guys. I've got this 6 kilogram beef shank. That's around 320 ounces. Look at it, what a beast. Now look at the color on this thing. Nice dark and red, a lot of intramuscular fat. This is going to be perfect for a good barbecue session. Now of course we're not going to cook it as it is right now. We need to clean this up because we still have some parts on there that we really don't want on our table. So we're going to get out our knife and we're going to work our way across this beautiful cut of beef. We're going to make it even better. We'll start with the bit of fat that's on top here. Now remember, you can have your butcher do this for you so you don't have to do it yourself. Now that we have this part laying open, we're going to cut off the bottom part of it. Of course, we're going to leave on the bone, but we're going to strip everything else off. I'll make an incision right here and work my way all the way to the bone. We're also going to cut any tendons, so when the meat starts shrinking down, it will shrink down this way. I'm working my way around the bones to see where we can cut it up. I'm looking for the joint and taking everything else off it. Well, unlike with chicken bones, you can see that this is fully connected. And now we have everything detached, but it's still on. There are two ways to take this off. Either we sew it off or we knock it off. First I'm going to try using the old manual force just to see how far I can go. Well, one thing is for sure, they didn't give me the old cow with brittle bones. I need to get my saw in. Any small metal saw will do the trick. Well, we did it. It's a bit of a workout, but it can be done. Now let me remind you, you can have your butcher do this for you, save you the trouble. We're going to clean up the bone fragments and then we're going to continue to clean this up. Now I want to take this big flap of fat off as well. We just need to clean it up until we get to the good part, the meaty part, so we can add flavor to it. With long strokes, we're going to remove it. Pull with one hand, move your knife in long strokes with the other, and tear it off till you get to the meat. Now we mostly have meat left over, a little bit of fat, but we want to keep that on because that's flavor. And remember, this is the beef shank. We use it to create beautiful soups and broth, and that's what it's going to be like. It's going to be a heavy beef flavor. So we're going to need a good amount of seasoning to balance that out. Before we're going to season the meat, we're going to rub it with olive oil. We need a good amount of olive oil so we are sure that all the spices will stick to it. For seasoning, we're going to be using 2 tablespoons of fleur de sel, which is a beautiful light sea salt. To that we're going to add 1 tablespoon of fine crushed black pepper, a 1/4 tablespoon of garlic powder, and a 1/4 tablespoon of onion powder. I'm also going to add 1/2 tablespoon of paprika powder. Now this is optional, I'm just adding it for more color. We're going to mix it up and sprinkle it onto our meat. Make sure you get a nice thick coating. It will add more flavor to our beef shank. Now that we've seasoned our beautiful beef shank, it's time to fire up our Kamado Joe Big Joe. The first step is to add a good amount of Kamado Joe Big Block. Now we'll light up our charcoal, and when it's fully lit up, we're going to place a chunk of smoke wood, put in the heat deflectors, and place the grill grates. Time to put our beautiful beef shank on. What a beast! See you on the other side of a good amount of smoking hours. Well, we'll let this come up to a temperature of 140 degrees Celsius, so it's going to be a roast and not a long stove session, but we're going to need to wait until it reaches a core temperature of 98 degrees Celsius. So all of these tendons and connective tissues will melt down into nice and gooey and juicy stuff. We have been smoking our beef shank for 4 hours. We're at a core temperature of 70 degrees Celsius. We picked up a good amount of smoke color, and that's what we're looking for. Now it's time to wrap. So let's open up the Big Joe and take a closer look. This thing looks good. We got a nice, beautiful bark on the outside. Look at the meat is shrunken and the bone is now fully exposed. What a beauty. If you look at that crust, all that flavor that's on there, we got to be careful with that. That's what I want to eat afterwards. And at the same time, you got that nice red mahogany color of the meat here. Oh, this is going to be so good. We're going to take it off the Big Joe and we're going to wrap it in butcher's paper. The bone makes for very easy handling, but this thing is super heavy. Let's roll the paper up. Be careful with the bark. We got a nice little package. Time to put it back on the Big Joe. Careful now. There we go. Now if you don't have butcher's paper, you can use tin foil just as easy, no problem. Now we have to wait for it to come up to a temperature of 96 degrees Celsius. It's going to take a while, but when we get there, it's going to be so good. Another 4 hours has gone by and we reached the core temperature of 96 degrees Celsius. This is the magic temperature where all of our beef and the connective tissue have become tender and juicy. So it's time to take our beef shank off the Big Joe and take a look. Well, now there's not much to see, but let's be careful here. Take it off the barbecue. All of the magic is inside of this package. Let's open it up. Oh. How juicy that is. It's just crazy. Oh. Oh. Now that is some good looking beef. Oh, I just want to dive into this and start eating it. This looks amazing. Now of course all of you want to see me do the taste test, but we're not going to right now. We need to wrap this back up and we need to secure it and make sure that it rests first so all of the juices flow together and it becomes more tender and even more juicy. Now we'll put this in the cooler and let it sit there for at least half an hour. Put the lid on and practice our patience. Wow. Let's take a look at it. Oh, all of the juices are still in there, still flowing freely. Oh, look at that. This is so juicy and so tender. I can stick my finger right in there. It's just so juicy. Ow, hot, crazy hot. Don't stick your finger in there. Don't do it. All right, it's time to dive in. This stuff is so tender. Normally, it's so hard and so tough, but now we can just shred it apart with our fingers. Be careful because this is hot. Just look at it, it just falls apart in my fingers. Even those connective tissue parts, they're just falling apart. We've got a beautiful smoke ring. We got a beautiful, nice and tender parts. It's not as juicy as a brisket, but it definitely looks really good. We got a good smoke color on it. We got a good bark on it. It has everything you can desire. And this stuff is super cheap. We turned it into pulled beef. And you can use this for tacos. You can use this, I don't know, you can use it in frittata. You can use it in anything that you like. And this stuff is good and tasty, right? You like it? Pulled beef, guys. I'm telling you. Now the bone has a good smoke flavor. You can use it to make a nice beef broth together with all of the scraps that we had in the beginning. This stuff's absolutely fantastic. I really recommend doing this. A little bit of barbecue rub, a little bit of barbecue sauce. What do you think?
I want some of the crust.
We can be picking on this all day. You hungry, Martian?
Just a little bit.
Now,
A little bit a lot.
I think you should have a little of this. Go ahead. That's the good stuff, right?
That's tasty. Just like brisket.
It is. It's like brisket. Now this is a fantastic recipe if you want to make something different than brisket. It's also good practice. If you haven't made brisket before and you don't want to be insecure about how much money you're spending and not getting the right results, then go for the beef shank. Ask your butcher for one. Ask him to clean it up for you so you don't all have to do all the work we did. Just make it easy on yourself and just smoke it until you reach a core temperature of 96 degrees Celsius. Let it rest for another half hour or so and you're gonna get the best results ever. And you're gonna get even better results with brisket, but this is a fantastic cut to start with. So, hope you guys enjoyed it, right?
Please give us a thumbs up.
And a comment down below. You know the drill. We want to say a special thank you to all of our patrons and the YouTube members. You guys freaking rock. And remember to put in your information because we're sending out the t-shirts to the guys that have been supporting us for half a year already. and that are waiting for the t-shirt. So put in the information, we'll make sure you get it, we'll contact you, and thanks again so much. Go get him! Go! Go!
Keep on grilling!
And in the meantime,
Eet smakelijk.
and keep on grilling. See, that's how you do it. I think it was take 2. It's not bad.
You only made me
On
say
average.
one thing, so that's all I say.
Yeah. Oh, you were eating the whole time.
I was.
So take some more. It's really good. I really like it. There's going to be a lot left over. 6 kilograms. Probably 3 kilograms of meat.
Not so fit master eggs.
Fitmaster eggs. New channel coming up soon. I don't think so. Not my thing.